Thank you for tuning in to Love in Your Hands with Cynthia Clark, the podcast about how to live life with love, passion, and purpose. This podcast is sponsored by loveinyourhands.com, the place to heal your emotional past, identify real compatibility, and find long-lasting love through the merging of ancient science, modern technology, and quantum physics. Tired of superficial connections? Start your free Soulmate Connection membership today at loveinyourhands.com. Now here's your host, Cynthia Clark, palm reading consultant, compatibility expert, and heart harmonizer. Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Cynthia Clark, and I'm always excited to talk about how we can live life with more love, passion, and purpose. And today, speaking of purpose, I want to give you a little palm reading lesson because your hands actually reflect all different aspects of who you are, including your life purpose, which you may not be aware of. A lot of people think of hand reading as fortune telling or as something that is set in stone. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. You have free will to, of course, create your own destiny, but you do come in with a plan, okay? So the plan actually shows up in your fingerprints. Your fingerprints form on your hands 5 months before you're born, and they are with you your entire life. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to be stuck in certain situations or certain doom and gloom, like some people think of that. It's not like that at all. Your fingerprints are there to actually guide you in where you're going to be the most fulfilled. And that's kind of how I think of purpose myself. I think of it as finding your right life, finding what makes you happy, finding that joy that gets you fired up and passionate about waking up every day so that you can just get out there and do something that gets you excited. Because life is not meant to be boring. It's not meant to beat us up. It's not meant for that. We're here to discover our own joy, and thankfully we all have our own different ways of doing that, and that's why our fingerprints are unique to us, and there's not a single fingerprint that is alike in the entire world, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. But the patterns that exist, that's what I read when I read somebody's purpose, and we look at the different fingers, and each finger actually represents a different aspect of yourself. So you've got your thumb, which has to do with your manifestation. You've got your Jupiter finger, which is your index finger, has to do with leadership. You've got your middle finger, which has to do with duty and responsibility. You've got your ring finger, or Apollo, which has to do with creativity. And then you've got your little finger, Mercury, which has to do with communication. So it's the combination of fingerprints that will guide you in your right life. So I love talking about this with other thought leaders. And today I'm bringing on a very special guest. Her name is Katja Rusanen, and she is all the way over in Spain, I believe, right now, which is a beautiful country I have yet to visit, but it's on my list for sure. And she is a spiritual mentor and success coach. So welcome, Katja, to the show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. And I was so fascinated when you were sharing all about the fingerprints, because you know what? Like when I was growing up, my mom always used to just for a fun, explain the lines, oh, this is the love line. And I was like, tell me more. Tell me more. What does this mean? So that was something I grew up on, and I'm always been fascinated with all these marks in our hands, and they change. They do change also. Wow.
Yeah, the lines definitely change. Yeah, the lines are the most changeable. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's pretty cool when you think about we have a destiny, but we also have a way to fulfill the destiny that's in our free will. So yeah, it's really neat. So tell me a little bit about your backstory and how you got into doing what you're doing now.
So right now, like, let's get this geographic right. So now I'm from Spain, but if you wonder where that does this accent come from, so originally I'm from Finland, and I had a privilege to have a mother who was into all like this intuitive things, and she was also, like I sharing about the lines, and I learned like, okay, there are more than we can see with our eyes. There are like some kind of plan.
Mm-hmm.
But so intuition was something I thought like everybody has it. Like my mom used to sometimes, oh, I need to make coffee because somebody's coming. And soon somebody came. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's how people just know things. That was like natural thing. And then later on, I learned that not everybody are just so tuned in. I believe that everybody has intuition, but we are not everybody are just listening to intuition. So I grew up in Finland, but when I was 6 years old, I got my like message that I'm gonna move abroad. So I since then I always was like, okay, I'm gonna move abroad. It was really like a declaration to my mom, like when I'm grown up, I'm gonna move abroad. And that day did come when I started my journey to explore the world. But before I did that, there was an event in my life that really marked my life and put me to the spiritual path, because I needed to find answers, and I did not find those answers anywhere else than studying spiritual texts and the spiritual teachers. And that was something, because my mind couldn't understand why this thing happened. Is when I was 16, I went through a tragic loss that came very sudden. I had started dating, and I had my first love, and all was super well, or I thought so. But unfortunately, this boy was not in a good place, and he did take his own life.
Mm. Wow.
So that almost put me into a very dark place that I considered ending my life, because the grief was so overwhelming. And it took a long time for me to find a way through that pain. But that also, like, there was a little spark within me that was like, there must be some kind of purpose. There must be something that I came here to do. That was all the time within me. But during those dark moments, it just became stronger, like there must be something. And that put me to search what that something was. So I started studying different spiritual texts. I started with the Buddhism at school. We studied different religions. So Buddhist said, said, and I completely understood that teaching wrong, but I was like, life is suffering. I was like, okay, yes, I agree on that. Like, life is suffering. And well, that was that, but that helped me. Like, that helped me to keep going. Like, okay, at least they recognize this. But
Mm-hmm.
then I learned to go go through that pain, and I started discovering joy again. And I started traveling as well. I moved from Finland to Spain, from Spain to London, from London to Barcelona, Barcelona to Los Angeles, Los Angeles to Sydney.
Wow.
And then I came back to LA, and then now I'm here in Marbella. So all that journey, just each and every place, each and every person who I've met, all these spiritual teachers have helped me to discover what I'm here to do and clarify the calling. Because when I was young, all my thought was like, if people ask what do you want to do, I didn't have like, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor.
Mhm.
my inner feeling was, I just want to bring more light into this world.
Mm.
And that was very
Right.
like nothing tangible. I didn't
Yeah.
have set profession, this is what I want to do.
Mhm.
So and then I had to go through this personal loss, and then discovering back the joy in my life, like which I thought back then when I was in a dark place that it's never ever possible. I'm never gonna be happy. And then I found a way to heal myself and find the joy in my life again. And now I'm like helping others on the journey, because I specialize helping people who I call light workers, who are like me, wanting to bring light into this world, wanting to help others, wanting to contribute something meaningful. So I'm helping them to break through their fears, their past traumas, so that they can do the work that they came here to do, that they can share their gifts. So that is what I'm here to do. And I'm so super excited to support light workers on their journey, because I see the ripple effect of light.
Mm.
So, long answer to your short question.
Yeah, no, I love that because, and thanks for sharing that story about your boyfriend. That's a really dark story. And a lot of people, I feel, go through some pretty dark places. And a lot of times we wonder, well, why did we go through that? Or why do
Mhm.
we have to go through that? And and it's not to, beat us up. It's really just part of our learning process. And I like to think of those times that we have an opportunity to learn, and it's showing us that opportunity of how can we connect back to love. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's like sometimes it takes a while to figure it out, and I'm sure it took you a while to get there. I mean, I'm sure it didn't happen overnight.
It did, because I was also like, I did not want to have support. I was like, close the doors.
Yeah.
And that, like, now when I see people who are like that place, I have
Mhm.
so much compassion for them.
Mm,
And it
yeah.
is like the willingness to receive help needs to come from them. And
Yes.
it is, but I understand sometimes there might be guilt. Like I carried a lot of guilt, like
Mhm.
I should have known, like being intuitive, I should have known, I should have been able to do something, I should have been able to just go there and save him.
Mm.
So I kind of felt like I don't deserve to be happy.
Mhm.
And part of that was, and I believe one of the biggest learning I have gone through, this learning to love myself again.
Mm. Exactly. So how did you, what were some of the steps that you took to actually do that? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Mm. Well, there was a blessing that I had started karate before this happened, just 6 months before. And what it gave to me was a routine. Like I had days I didn't want to get up or do anything, but then there was a training. So I just somehow managed to get myself there.
Mm.
I was committed to do it. So I just got myself to the training, and later on I had a coach who actually planned what I do. So that really helped me. Like there was a routine, I just needed to do that, I needed to go to do this exercise, and that way my body was moving. And karate as well, like it helped me to be present in the moment, because every time I started to go back and thinking past, like literally I got hit to the face.
Uh-huh.
Like
Sure.
it was like, okay, be now, be right here.
Uh-huh.
And often when some events like that happen, we always go to the memory lane. We go back.
Mm.
So then, like being the present moment, that was a huge lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And another big thing for me that helped me so much was that I got a dog who just
Mhm.
loved me unconditionally.
Oh, dogs are so amazing.
He
Yeah,
was such a big key component for for me to heal.
that makes
He
perfect
was
sense. Yeah.
so loving. He
Mm.
read my emotions. So if I
Mhm.
was really sad, then he made
Mhm.
something so silly that I had to laugh. Like
Yeah, it's
he
so
just really
precious.
entertained me and loved me and loved me and loved me, and
Mm.
like little by little my broken heart, that
Mhm.
how I felt it was broken those days. So then
Yeah.
I felt like it kind of came together and it started opening up to this
Mhm.
precious being.
Yay. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about how you work with light workers and what are some of the things that you do with them?
So I offer them support on their path to fulfilling their purpose. And I do have a Light Workers Who Succeed on Purpose Facebook group where they get free resources, free support. And then those who want to invest in their journey, who are ready to say yes to their purpose, I offer one-on-one and group coaching where we will create a plan, create like where they are heading. Because when we have the clarity about the destination, it brings the confidence and courage to take those action steps.
Mm.
And often there are also some energy blocks that are
Mhm.
holding them back. So I help to break through so that it is like I hold a lantern, like light, so they can see what's there. And it is easier than to break through of those blocks when you see what's there.
Mm. Right.
And then it's just the opportunity to really get support, because I feel like often on our journey, we might feel a little bit alone when we are taking a road less traveled. We might not get the support we would love to get from our loved ones or the people around us. So this is a place where we come together to support and encourage each other. So that is the Facebook group that I created. And now we have over 1,000 1,200 members there. So
Wow, that's
it's
amazing.
growing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that sounds great. I think you make a good point too. It's like we have our family and then we also have our spiritual family. And
mm,
sometimes we need to have that little extra like soul group that helps us actually work through things that our family can't always see because they have a different type of relationship with us. So
absolutely.
I think
And
that makes
they
perfect
want,
sense.
yeah, and they want us to do something that they want us to do.
Exactly.
We have the calling. I believe all of us have already the calling in our heart. It
Hmm.
is just for us to break through those barriers or my limitations of our minds so that we can discover it.
Hmm.
Like we already know our purpose. It is just for us to awaken to it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's beautiful. So, and then do you have a website or anywhere else that you have people go to work with you?
Yeah, I do have a website, and most likely you're gonna put it on the links.
Yes,
Like
I will.
I do have a Finnish name, so it's not the most common. So it is katjarusanen.com. And what I would love to also do is to give your audience a gift about
Okay,
intuition. And this is
great.
a mini guide that I wrote because I am inspired with my mom and everything she gave to me, like just
Hmm.
allowing me to connect with the intuition. So that is a mini guide I created where is 5 ways how you can enhance your intuition,
Hmm.
and also 5 things that might be blocking your intuition so that you are aware of them. And
Mm-hmm.
there is a 3-step decision-making process. Because you might have heard a lot of even big name business people,
Uh-huh.
they base their decisions to intuition.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
just heard Gary Vaynerchuk mentioning that in one of his podcasts, like intuition. And I
Yes.
was like, whoa, that's,
Incredibly important.
yeah.
Yeah, because I view that intuition as like connecting with your higher self, which is can guide you in everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, it guides you in business as much as anything else. So that sounds like a really great resource. So thank you so much for that.
You
And
are welcome.
so appreciate you coming on the show. So thank you for sharing your gifts and sharing your beautiful energy. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And thank you everybody for tuning in. Remember that you can live life with love, passion, and purpose. So get out there and do it. And we'll connect with you again really soon. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Thank you for listening to Love in Your Hands. Please rate, review, and subscribe to show your support. This podcast is sponsored by loveinyourhands.com, the place to find the secret ingredients to your soulmate. Start your free Soulmate Connection membership today using the most innovative and accurate algorithm to match you to potential long-lasting love, all at loveinyourhands.com.